right, folks, welcome to another episode of AgWarriors. I have got Elizabeth Omet from Protexia. We've been trying to do this for 2 years. Elizabeth has refused to come on my podcast. Literally straight up said no. What made you change your mind?
You just wore me down.
It's just over and over and over again. And I basically came here and said, you're on it this time and I'm not taking no or I'm burning your booth down. Your cow is dead.
That's why I did it.
See? So now, Elizabeth, I don't know how many of my people will know you. Some will. What we are going to talk about is how you, as a city girl from Texas, who didn't know shit about farming or agriculture really, who grew up in Houston, ended up married to a French guy. And
that old story.
We're gonna tell that story. So tell me about growing up. Where did you grow up? Tell me some of that.
So I grew up in the greatest place on planet Earth, Texas, Houston, Texas. My dad ran a professional boxing gym. He was a promoter and a matchmaker. So my mom was a real estate agent. And growing up, I saw them work really, really hard. They were both really poor growing up. So the value of hard work was shown to me, and I don't know. What else do you want to know?
Well, so, I mean, that right there is a whole nother thing. So your mom's a real estate agent, so she's out selling houses in Houston. Your dad's, you said he was a matchmaker. Now, he wasn't fixing matches because that's a whole nother thing. He was a promoter.
Well, he was a matchmaker, so he would put fighters up to fighters, and he was a promoter, and he was a trainer.
Who were some of his fighters?
Evander Holyfield, Lou Savarese. There's been a ton of world champions that have gone through the gym. My brother runs it now, so. And
that's kind of a cool part of this is like your dad boxing gym. Your brother now runs the boxing gym. Your mom was in real estate, and yet you took a completely different path.
Well, in a way, they're both entrepreneurs, and no matter what they do, they try to do it the best that they can, and they tried to make a good living and work hard and did whatever it took. So
you and your brother grew up in Houston, went to school in Houston. After high school, you went to college. Where'd you go to college?
I went to college in Houston. I went to St. Thomas University.
Okay.
So
what is that? Like you're not an Aggie. What is St. Thomas University's mascot?
It's just a Catholic school. I don't even know if there's a mascot.
You went to a Catholic school? How was that?
It was great.
Was it an all girls?
No, it was a college.
Well, I don't know what that's like.
So it was a business school. I got into design school for fashion design, and I got into business school, and I didn't want to be a starving artist. So I was paying for my own college, so I went to business school, and I bought my first house when I turned 18. And I knew early on that I wanted to start a business and have a company, and I had a home health care company.
Look, you're jumping way ahead. You just skipped right past the fact that you went to fashion. You were what?
No, I got into fashion school, but I didn't go.
Would your professor? Oh, you didn't go.
No.
Okay, that explains the hat and the outfit. Like, I was just wondering if your fashion professor would roll over right now.
No, I love art and design and fashion, and I like details of things. So
went to school for business, and then. And I cut you off there, Rob Sharkey, who we both know. Rob and Emily would tell me to just be quiet and let you talk. But home health care, that's a whole nother thing. What brought you into the home health care, and what was your business there?
So I knew that I wanted to work with people, and I liked helping people. Home health care is it's a good business. There's a real need for it, and there's a real need for good care for elderly people. But it's hard because you're just managing people as they're getting closer and closer to death. So that's not great for me. And
how old were you when you started it?
I can't remember. after college, before now, I don't know. Somewhere
like
in between.
22, 23.
I can't remember how old I was.
Okay, so
Somewhere around
sometime in
there.
your 20s,
Mm-hmm.
you start, because you're still in your 20s, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Okay.
But in your 20s, you started this home healthcare business.
Mm-hmm.
How fast did you grow it?
Well, I had a lot of customers referred, and I worked with families, but it wasn't something that I really loved doing. I was good at building the business of it and having a fresh set of ideas for the industry. I created a technology that people could kind of manage their families from anywhere in the world. But then come to Ben and I are together.
Well, no, you got to tell the story. Like, because you are through and through Texan. I mean, look at you with your cowboy hat on. I mean, you can't get more Texas than you are. And Benjamin is not. How did you
My man.
kidnap this
Really
Frenchman?
what happened. I tricked him.
Yeah, how did you
every
trick
day.
this Frenchman into...
Any day now, he's going to realize.
No, he's not. He's head over heels. But how did that happen?
So we were friends. We had similar friends. And if you can imagine a tall, handsome French guy coming to Texas, girls were just like throwing themselves at him.
Right.
So I thought he was so stupid.
Because all the rest of the girls liked him, and you were like,
Yes.
I don't like this guy.
What is this accent? He's over here. And so one night we were at Rice University, and randomly all of our friends left except for the two of us. We ended up talking all night, and we started hanging out, and for so long he just like he was so shy around me, and he just never ever made a move or anything. And I was like, this guy hates me. I mean, he really hates me. And it turned out that he liked
wasn't
me.
gay.
Yeah, and
And
he was
liked-
French.
Yeah, he was just polite.
Yeah, and we fell in love. And he was supposed to go back to France.
So what was he doing here?
So he was on a mission here from Europe with his father's company to bring over the films with the repellent for construction, because they have films that repel termites in a vapor barrier under houses. So he could have gone to Hawaii or Houston.
And he chose Houston.
So clearly didn't.
Make the right decision. Well, I mean, in hindsight, he made the right decision, but
Right.
at the time, Hawaii, Houston.
So he came to Houston and we fell in love. And then when I learned he was supposed to go back to France, I broke up with him.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So he's supposed to go back to France, and you're like, that's it? I'm done with you?
Well, yeah, because I was in love with him and then he was going back. So I didn't want to, like, you know what I mean?
I mean, you don't want him to break your heart?
Yeah. So
Right, you broke his heart.
no, because we had already planned this big dinner. His father was coming in town for an event to kind of meet some of the customers that were there. So I went to the dinner because it was at a friend's restaurant of mine. And
After you broke up with him?
yeah.
So you'd already broke up with him, but you're like, I'll come to the dinner anyways.
Yeah, well, I'd arranged a lot of it. So, and then we ended up talking, and his dad told him, you know, if it were me, I think that this is your person and I would stay. And so instead of going back to Europe and helping run the companies over there, he stayed. And the factories that they were working with had never had any business in ag in the US. They hadn't been able to kind of penetrate the market here. So Ben was a little nervous about his accent and taking meetings, and I will literally talk to anyone.
As we see. Yeah. Like, I'm surprised you haven't been kidnapped, because you do talk to literally everybody.
They would give me back,
Right.
honestly. I would be a terrible hostage. I have so many questions. I'm going to give you tips on how you should be doing it. I'm hungry all the time.
Right.
But he asked me to come with him to the meeting, and so...
Wait a minute. So what made him... So he was in construction, and then he decided to go into ag?
Well, his dad said, you know, none of the ag products are available in the US, and they're good quality. They can save guys time, money, all of that. So these are something that you should look into bringing there. So how it works a lot in France and in Europe is that they sell a lot to stores, big co-ops that are reselling, you know. So the initial idea, which was different than what I wanted to do in the beginning, was to sell to big dealers.
You just had to get that on the record?
Yeah, I mean, I was always right, so.
Right. So historically, these kinds of products, you know, and Benjamin's father and Benjamin are like, okay, we're going to go in, we're going to meet with dealers, we're going to meet with stores. That's how we're going to bring these products to America.
Yeah, because that's how it's done in a lot of countries around Europe. And also, it's how it's done a lot in the US.
Right.
So we look up, you know, a couple big dealers of these types of products, and we go to one and we pull in, and he does a tremendous amount every year, and he's still in business. And we tell him about the products, and we actually know a couple of his customers that have had issues, and we bring it up, and he just like laughs at us. And he's like, you will never sell anything in the US. Farmers here don't care about quality. They want what's cheap. So
How'd that make you feel?
We left, and Ben pulled over when we like pulled out of the thing, and he was like, do you think he's right? You know, and our faces are a bit red, and I was like, hell no, he's not right. And we're going to open up and we'll do it here. So we brought
Were you married at this point?
Yes.
So you got married. What happened to the healthcare? Were you still doing that?
No, I sold that business because I wasn't super happy doing it, and I was looking to do other stuff. And then
is that Benjamin's nickname? Other stuff?
No.
Okay, right.
But after this meeting, and I realized like how this guy had so many customers that are hardworking farms and ranches, and he's selling them stuff that he's not standing behind, that are causing him problems in the field, and he actually thinks that they don't care. Like any business owner cares at the end of the day, you know? Nobody, especially farmers.
Right.
Especially farmers. So we brought in a container load of stuff.
Your first year?
Mm-hmm.
Brought in a full container.
I think so, yeah. And then we were just cold calling people, like looking up numbers, like on different ag lists online. We were just going to universities, walking around, looking for cows, and then people nearby. Just, we knew nothing. And slowly, if you ask enough people, you find somebody, and then you learn something from them, and then you know, and you make mistakes. And we had
what was a mistake that you made in that time?
So many. I mean, just in the beginning, everything is kind of a yes. You don't know what you don't want to do, or who's a good customer, or who your ideal customer is, right? Or who your ideal business partner is. So our very first customer was this couple in Michigan, and they're still customers 9 years later. And their name, it's Pat and Ed Brower. And she is a retired teacher, and he was a farmer. And they were driving like 45 minutes to go get stuff from a Tractor Supply. And most of the time it wasn't even the right stuff. It was just stuff that was like on the shelf that they could make work. So we shipped it directly to them, you know.
What'd you ship them? What was the first order size?
It was like 2 rolls.
2 rolls of net wrap, bale wrap?
Bale wrap. Okay. And then they got some spools of twine later, and that's all they order from us now. It's like a few rolls of twine and a few rolls of net wrap or bale wrap. And
every year?
Every year.
For 9 years?
Yep. And they get so much swag from us now. Every time they call an order, it's my favorite thing. But we sold it, and we were so excited. And it's like, that's not a huge order, but I remember Ben's dad celebrated with us, you know, and he made it such a big deal. He opened up a bottle of champagne and was like, oh, you got your first sale, you know. So that was really wonderful.
And that was 2016, 17?
17?
2017?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm like on casino time.
Right.
Where are we?
We're in
What day is it?
Yeah, Thursday. It is
So
Thursday. We
it
are
is.
in Des Moines.
I
Yeah,
know.
just so you know. Okay, good.
So like a month later, our phone rings and it's Pat, the wife. And she said, Ed got home earlier than he did and he wasn't as frustrated and he loved the wrap and it worked so good for him. Thank you so much. And it just, like, it's only 2 rolls.
Right.
But like to hear this woman say that he got home earlier and a little bit less stressed, it was like the best thing in the world. It meant that we were doing something right, you know? And then from there on,
Don't skip past it because that first year was hard.
every year.
Yeah. But how many no's did you get before they said yes and were your first order? Just rough guess.
Hundreds. I mean, from cold calls, people hanging up, walking up to people, sitting, we did trade shows and talked to 1 million people and, no. And you don't really know, especially if you're not in the industry. We had to learn like what problems people were having. And that's something that, because we really learned it from scratch, I feel like has made us so different than a lot of people in business in general, is we really love to learn how we can be better every year. That's, our main thing. We leave a show, we leave an event, we leave a customer's place or whatever. What can we do better? It's never like throwing roses and we did this so good. It's how do we get better? How do we improve? How do we make it even better for you in the field? How do we save you just a little bit of time? Whether it's making a product longer, or the handles, or the packaging, or the stretch in it, or different additives to make it outlast stuff. It's all these things that have been game changers for people in the field that are such an honor to be able to provide solutions.
And you've learned all of that from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know shit about agriculture.
No, I always have a huge place in my heart and a respect for farmers. I mean, my grandmother.
Because you're from Houston. I mean.
Well, I really love that farms and ranches, one, they feed the world, and they're the hardest working people, and they're the least thanked, but all the time we get calls from people just to say thank you. There's not very many industries in the world where people take the time to call you, say thank you. And then we don't do a ton of marketing. I mean, you know that.
Yep.
And I'm always against, because you're very ahead of the time with marketing and pushing stuff, and you do so many good things for businesses. But I love a handshake and sitting in front of people and the story behind it all, and connecting. So our marketing has really been one farmer telling another, and now we're in all 50 states, even Alaska and Hawaii. We sent something out to Hawaii a couple days ago, and we send stuff out on a barge to Alaska a few times a year.
So 2017.
Okay.
I'm taking you back. 2017, right. 2018. You brought over a container. How much of that container did you sell?
Not a lot.
No, like 2 rolls.
It was like,
was it just the 2 rolls?
It might have been.
Yeah.
No, but it was every customer in the very beginning we visited, like that was a potential customer. Like we read about this guy in a newspaper. Like, newspapers will write random articles about farms.
Yeah.
This guy got an article. So we paid him a visit. And I brought bale wrap onto the plane, brought it out to his place.
So you're literally flying around just trying to walk onto a farm and visit people.
Yeah.
To try to introduce them to these.
A product that can change things for them.
Right. And not the cheapest product.
Nope.
Actually the most expensive product.
Yes. Nothing that we sell is cheap by any means, but right. I say this often and I really mean it. If you try to save in the beginning, you're going to pay for it somewhere down the line. So right. What do you value more? Your time, your loss, you're doing custom work. Do you value your customers? Do
right.
you want to lose them? It's hard to get people back, right?
100%.
it's also hard to grow a business if you're managing problems. And I didn't want that, right? My mom growing up was, and I say this in the most respectful way, but she was like the customer that would always meet the manager. She really expects a lot of service when she shows up. And she's willing to give that service when she was a real estate agent. Like, Barb will go to Olive Garden and be like, hi, can I have this pasta al dente, please? That means hard to the tooth. And I'm like, Barb, dude has a face tattoo and an ankle monitor. Let him bring you your endless bowl of pasta. And
Right.
But
So your mom was so hard on people, and that's why you offer such good service?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I want people to get the customer service that they deserve. And I like surprising people with like that family business mentality where you really know your customers, know what's going on, and you try to understand what they're doing. And for a lot of farms, it's a business, of course, but it's a family business.
Right.
So at the end of the day, when you're selling them something, that's a big responsibility because it's their livelihood, it's their family, it's their blood, sweat, and tears in the field. And so when I would learn some of the stuff that these people were going through and some of the losses that they were having, and like nobody's paying a second thought to it, or they're having problems and there's, people that don't know how to fix it or troubleshoot it. I can't tell you how many times I've asked to go out to the field with people. Can you show me what you're doing? Can I see? Can we run it? Can we do this? And because that's how I learn, is kind of hands-on, and then can read something and understand it instantly. I'm not like that.
Right. You're a slow learner.
Bang my head on the table a few times before I understand anything.
So how many products did you start with?
Just one. We started with our repellent ag plastic.
Yeah. And that was something that nobody had ever heard of before.
Correct. So Ben's father created it in construction films and created the repellent ag film because his neighbor was having a problem. So it was really to help a problem that was right there.
Right. And you guys bring it to America, one product, shipped a container over, sold very little of it. How did those first couple of years, can you identify a turning point? Like, I know it was hard, but what all of a sudden where it was like, oh, we're starting to make some headway here. When was that?
I don't know that there's ever a point that I realize even now that there's been a turning point, because we're just still, I still got to take over the world.
Right. But I mean, we got more than one product in a 60-foot booth with a 40-foot cow over there. You've got
Ben wouldn't let me get the big cow.
4 staff in the booth. You're making waves, but it wasn't always this way. I know that you're skipping over how hard it was, and you're not talking about, the fact that you went from 2 rolls to a skid to 3. Like, when did you start to feel momentum and be like, honey, we might have something here? Because at the beginning, even though you knew the product was good, you weren't having success.
That's true. And I've probably failed more times than people try ever, in a lifetime.
I know you did.
And every new opportunity and growth in our business has brought up new problems or new things to get over. From in the very beginning, we had other people doing our warehousing for us.
Right.
So if you're delivering products in agriculture, they have to arrive perfect. They can't have problems, they can't be damaged, and they have to get there on time, right? Because Mother Nature is their boss, and she don't wait for anybody.
Right.
So they weren't handling our products with just the way that they should have been. And so I looked at Ben, I was like, well, we gotta open up our own warehouse. And he was like, but we don't know how to do that. And I was like, we're about to figure it out. Right. And we had so many growing pains with that. Our first warehouse, we didn't even have a dock.
Right. You had a forklift, and Benjamin drove the forklift.
Yeah.
Mostly because you weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But just pulling huge rolls of plastic and stuff off of containers with chains because we didn't have a forklift. And
OSHA's not listening to this. Don't worry. None of them follow us.
No, but we even had a driver quit after he left our place one day. He accidentally dropped his wallet after helping us unload in the snow and ice. So when I called the next day, they were like, he quit. He doesn't want to be a driver anymore.
You had a driver come help you guys load your product and then
unload.
Quit?
It was a driver that brought our container to us. And
well, either way, he came and visited your warehouse and was like, these people are so redneck.
No, it wasn't that. It was that it was icy outside and our first warehouse wasn't zoned for commercial. It was in a residential place, and Ben and I trusted the guy that we were leasing it from. And in fact, so he was like, are you sure I can get my truck in here? And I was like, people do it all the time. Like, there was a girl driver here just a little bit ago. First driver, okay?
Right.
And he's like, and I'm from Texas, so I don't know about icing driveway or salting anything.
Right.
So he's in here and the truck's like, yeah. And then we're taking forever to pull stuff out. He's helping us. And it was a hard first delivery for him, but maybe he came back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so.
He's probably doing something better now.
Well, he could have maybe had a whole business, but he quit. He should have just kept at it.
If you could have quit, it would have been pretty easy for you guys to quit along the way.
But
how many times did that cross your mind? Like, honestly, where you guys were like, no, yeah, not
so
today.
Many right now.
Right now, you want to quit. Like, no, but seriously, in those early years.
It's and I think with anybody in business, it's humbling. And you have all of these moments that you're like, what am I doing? I have no idea. But really, no one does. And even like we've lived through COVID, and everything shuts down. And we had, during COVID, you weren't allowed to let drivers or people in. We were an essential business because we were supplying farms and ranches with stuff that they needed to operate, and the world needed food. And truckers couldn't come inside, and they couldn't get food places, all of that. So I put a sign on the outside, hey, you can come in here, get some coffee, wash your hands, do what you need to do. If you need to order food, you can come in here. And we had a little table in the back.
You were breaking the rules. Don't worry, those people don't exist anymore.
We would let them come in and rearrange their trucks because people were loading trucks and they weren't allowed. The truck drivers weren't allowed to say, hey, put it over here. The truck's going to be heavy on this side or anything like that. So it was dangerous for these guys, and they had nobody to protect them. So our neighbors called the police on us.
How many times?
Just a couple.
No big deal.
But like the police were like, thanks for being normal people and helping
people out.
Yeah, and you go through that, and you're staying in business and trying to navigate a whole new world of stuff, and our kids are there because they can't go to school.
We haven't even talked about kids yet. When did Joey come along?
Oh, 14 years ago today.
Today's his birthday?
Today's his birthday.
Shut up. Happy birthday, Joey. AgWarriors podcast, you're going to have to watch this because that's 14 years ago today. Mm-hmm. So no shit. Joey was born when you guys were doing all this, when you started? Mm-hmm. Joey was like 5 and you guys are failing everywhere?
Oh, yeah. No, but he was like 3 or 4, 5. No, maybe, I don't know. You cannot ask me questions about time.
Sorry.
0 ideas.
Right. So I didn't realize that. For some reason, Joey's always small in my mind, even though he's 14 now.
It's crazy.
Holy cow.
I know.
God, you're in your 20s and you have a 14-year-old. The math don't add up there. But
it's not mathing. So
you're starting to make a dent. People are now, how many people still buy from you today, other than your first customers, the Browers? How many people continue to buy from you? Once they buy from you, they're customers for life. Like, what's the percentage?
I don't know.
90?
I don't know.
95?
Every customer matters. We try to give everybody the customer support that they deserve, whether they get one roll or a truckload. And we have customers that I like the competition in the market.
Yeah.
And we're not the least expensive. We have great pricing and we're competitive for sure. And there are some stuff that we've found through shipping or other ways to be able to even beat some prices with really good quality stuff. But I forgot where I was going with that.
It's okay. It happens. We were talking about
No, now I know where I was going with that. So when somebody comes along and they're like, I can do it for cheaper. Sometimes it's okay that we would lose a customer and that they...
For a year?
Yeah, for a year. Or if, like, I really believe that you need to earn your business. Those are, you don't want customers that'll leave you over 30 cents or whatever, for any business. And I want you to understand what I have and what I'm offering. And I think more than anything, I've learned not so much who my customer is, but I know who my customer is not. Right? Like I know...
You know the kind of people that are Protexia customers.
Yeah.
Benjamin was telling me this morning, you know, and obviously things are going pretty good, but you guys had lost a big customer last year that had gone somewhere else. And you guys had banked on him coming in, so you'd ordered his product already, and you guys still sold all the product, but you weren't banking on him this year. And the guy kind of called and was kind of sheepish and was like, yeah, so we tried some stuff last year. It was cheaper and it didn't work. We're moving all of our business back to you. How gratifying is that when you hear from a guy like that that's gone somewhere else and now he's back? He understands that the quality means something.
So it feels good. And I'm not, and you know this about me, I'm not a numbers person. I'm not a dates person.
Right. Barely keep your kids alive.
I mean, I'm shocked every day.
Every day.
No, but when Ben and I do our yearly planning and we go, okay, well, what did we do last year? The fact that we not only had somebody that ordered something, didn't get it, we sold it and we still grew.
Right.
You know, and that's the beauty behind working directly with the customers is my business doesn't depend. We have great dealers and our dealers grow every year, knock on wood. But it works because when we're direct with the market, I don't have to depend on one person. And because we're all over the U.S. and in Canada, if there's a drought somewhere.
You know I'm an American. Like you pointed at me like I'm Canada.
You're in Canada. Thunderstruck is based in Canada.
I'm an American. Let's be real here, okay? Stop throwing that at me. But
my point in saying that is that if there's a drought in one part of the country or usually stuff moves someplace else. And when you're growing and I get to learn about new types of farming and new equipment, and that's what's pushed us into having so many different SKUs of products and so many, like we have our customers in Alaska have mini balers from Japan. And if you talk to them, we have like 10-inch bale wrap. They make these tiny little basketball bales.
I thought those were just for display.
Yeah.
No, they're an actual thing?
Yeah. And if you talk to them, like, it's about to take off. And like everybody's going to have a mini baler and it's like...
Not in the Midwest.
Yeah. I have guys trying to make like 9-foot wide bales if they can, you know? But it's just, it's so neat to learn and to be able, and okay, but they couldn't get 10-inch wrap.
But you guys found
They were sawing 20-inch rolls in half. Can you even imagine a film that somebody's trying to wrap that they just, I mean, what a nightmare. And so we found it, sourced it, brought it in, sent it on a barge to Alaska, and they're so wonderful. And they send pictures and...
How many of your SKUs come from talking to farmers, realizing they don't have a solution, and then being like, I'm going to go find you a solution?
I would say all of them. And then a lot of the products that we carry now have changed because we realized that even with the SKUs that we brought in, like net wrap, it's something that it's all over the place, you know, and it's kind of one way to do it well. We found out that people were having problems with the UV in it, or like super hard crops like straw, corn stalks, all of that. People were having problems, and we tested putting carbon black in it, which is the same stuff that is in your tires. It's not a color additive. And it runs and it outlasts anything else in the sun, and it's super good for like peanut hay, straw, corn stalks, anything that has a lot of pressure. And it's something that we developed for American farmers that are running like so many different forages through their equipment, you know, because it's different in America because you have guys that are doing it all, and you have two neighbors that are doing completely different things. It's all over the place, where as in some places in the world, you have sections and people are very specific. And in America, we make it work. You get it done, baby.
So you're saying it's a little different in America?
It is.
A little different?
A little better.
So what's the future hold? Like well, before we get to what the future holds, how often do you look at this? Because I've watched you guys for years and you have just exploded. Do you ever sit and be like, holy crap, like this is exploding? Do you ever look at that? Like,
no.
Why not?
Well,
it's okay
we're
to be
not
humble.
even...
I know, and you're trying to get there still, and it's okay to push. But I think you got to look back at like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Look at your staff. I mean, you've got some incredible people working for you. You had terrible people working for you for a while.
We've had some people run through, but everybody has.
You had a truck driver quit.
we're just affecting people.
Right. But no, you've got some good people that love what they do. They love the farmers. You've grown so much. Do you and Benjamin ever stop and look at each other and be like, this is a cool thing that we've done?
Well, I will say that every Sunday at the dinner table, we do our gratitude. You've done it when you've eaten dinner with us.
Yep.
And we go around with our kids and we talk about our week and the things that we're grateful for. And that's a time for us with our family to realize truly how blessed we are. And one of the things that we always say, and I think that we're ingraining into our kids, is that we're so grateful for our customers and the amount of people that we get to work and hopefully help. And I just want to keep doing that, and I want to keep giving people good customer service that they deserve and providing solutions for them and be part of delivering what they need, you know?
9 years ago, you struggled to sell one container. How many containers did you guys bring in this year?
I don't know.
Like
a bunch.
50, 100, 200?
Who could count?
Okay, so you won't say, but it was a lot because you have a warehouse now that is, I mean, it's big and there's shelves everywhere. Like I walked into the warehouse, I saw your first warehouse. I mean, and it was in a residential area. It was not great, but now like you can fit three of that first warehouse inside your warehouse now. Yeah.
And we have an overflow warehouse for stuff, but everything before it leaves, it touches our warehouse, and I
mean, Benjamin still runs a forklift sometimes. It's dangerous,
not
but he
very
doesn't
often.
know.
But that being said, another thing of Ben knowing about and us knowing about warehousing is you can't really tell us now, I couldn't do that and that. We know how much time it takes.
Right.
We know.
You've done it. You've done every last job that you ask anybody to do, you've done it yourselves.
Yeah, and we know the little important things, like the details that really matter about how a package leaves. How, and we take pictures of every shipment before it goes out, and every shipment goes out with a little squishy cow.
I was just going to say, how many cows do you go through in a year?
Ooh, I think last year like 8,000,
9,000,
maybe more. I could ask Jessica, but
we
do
know.
a lot.
It's a number.
And
I'm
we
sorry.
say a prayer on them when they come in, and we put them in the front of truck drivers' things and say it's going to keep them safe. And I like the idea. My dad traveled a lot. He went all over the world when I was growing up. And when he came home, I'm so spoiled. He always had to have a gift for me. And even if it was a blanket from the plane, or a brochure. Like
Right.
he could not walk through that door
instructions.
empty-handed. I'm
Right.
like,
Is the rule apply to Benjamin?
every single day.
Yeah.
No, but he's my gift.
Right.
Like he came home and he had a little something for me, and I like the idea that the guys or girls in the field get to go home with something for their kids. You know, at the end of the day, they're away from their family and they're working hard, and everybody has that guilt, you know, the FOMO of I'm not spending enough time. But you go home and you have something little, and we even have a thing on our website. If you order from us or whatever and you want some extra cows or bandanas for the kids or whatever, and we load up stuff, you know, and if any order ever doesn't go out with a cow, we send a big box of them to people.
Really?
And yeah, just a whole herd.
You send just a herd of cows. You miss one cow, so your warehouse people probably getting some shit then.
You know, and what's neat about our staff is taking the time to, I mean, you know, about finding good people, but also finding people that like earn their job. And
every day.
Yeah. And our warehouse manager, Rob, he cares so much. And I show him like some of the messages that we get from people, from the farmers. I show him the products in the field, the importance of what he's packaging and what it means to the customer. And the message is, hey, thanks, it arrived great, you know, and he feels he owns his job. And Jessica's the same. She's the first voice, my assistant, that people hear when they call, and she's wonderful, you know, and she gets so many things. And Steve, one of our sales guys, he, at 10 p.m., I have to like mess around, like, Steve,
Stop working. Yeah.
The weekends, holidays, you know, but like, he loves it. And none of these people are from ag, and they have such respect for this industry.
I think it's hard to be around you guys though and not feel that way. Like you definitely exude that. So we've talked about the past, and you don't celebrate it.
We do. We're so
I'm just kidding.
Grateful, but we have so much work to do.
So what's the future?
Everything. I mean, just getting more good products, good partners in our factories. That's something that's been a big thing for us the past couple of years, is good partners that keep up.
That care about the farmers the way you do.
Well, yeah. And like, so many products today are designed on what works best for a factory. They're manufactured, not what works best for the guy in the field. And they're so separate, right? Like, they're hearing from dealerships or purchasing managers and who are getting stuff from sales guys, and it's so removed, and that's so sad, right? Because farmers and ranchers are so educated and so solution oriented. Everybody's an engineer.
Yep.
Every single person has a solution, and we try to be as good to our customers. We try to be that good to our factories too, and filling them in. And I send them pictures and videos and reviews from customers. Something that is important to us, not only with like our staff and our customers, is that they feel the value our factories that we work with, and that they understand their value. Because at the end of the day, the people that are making it and sending it to us, if they can hear the difference that they're making, they're going to care.
Right.
You know,
it motivates.
Yeah, it does. And people think, oh, you take so much time to talk to a customer and all that time on the phone. And guess what? I took an extra 5 minutes to tell somebody about my product. Now they're selling it for me. Now they're telling their neighbor and their friend how it works, and they're going to use it right, you know? And when I do that with our factories and I send them pictures and videos, or I'm telling them something doesn't work and we need to change it and we need it like this, and I'm pushing for something, and then they realize how much of a difference it made, we become more valuable to them, right? And even like...
So how does that tie into the future? That's
well,
where we were going.
So...
Do you remember what we were talking about? Look, we're almost done.
No, I'm never... We can stay here all
night?
All
this podcast?
All the day is long. So... how does that tie into the future? What I would like to do is continue to design and deliver products that get people home earlier, less stress, more efficient, meet more manufacturers that care about that. Even we've had meetings recently with manufacturers who aren't in the ag industry that could be interesting to partner with, you know.
For ag.
For ag.
Right.
And helping them kind of dream on the idea of starting to create things that would serve people here, because they're underrepresented and underappreciated, and they're some of the most important people in the world. You know, my dad was in the Army, and he went to Vietnam, and my nephew is in the Air Force, and I care about veterans and our country, and Are
you the most patriotic person in America?
No.
Are you
but
sure?
I do love our country so much. But I also believe, like, when people clap for veterans, like when they get off of a plane, I think people should do that for farmers too, because they're so hardworking and they give their blood, sweat, and tears, and they risk everything every single season, you know, and they're like, everything just depends on the weather. Do you realize like how
Did
humble?
you know any of this when you were a kid? Like when you were eating food, did you have any idea? Be honest.
No, I feel like I did. I feel like this was something I knew about. We even like
You'd heard about.
I milked a cow on field trips, and I went to the rodeo every year. I went to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo every year growing up. My grandmother picked cotton. So I had all of these little bits and pieces. I've always had a respect for anybody that's hardworking. I mean, not just farming and ranching, just people that make the world go round. Truckers that deliver stuff.
Unless they quit. Unless they quit.
Well, he wasn't strong enough to be a trucker, huh?
No, it's just I didn't grow up in ag either, and I didn't know how hard it was to farm or ranch. Like I had no idea, and I think that a lot of people have no clue the sacrifices that they make. So I love that you recognize that you want to applaud them. But I just feel like that's something that more people need to recognize, and it's tough right now. It's really hard. Okay, so 2 questions. I ask every guest 2 questions. So the first question is, because I named it AgWarriors, and I've had so many different answers to this. If you were in a confrontation or a war, if you will, with somebody,
okay,
what would be your weapon of choice? So early on in the podcast, people gave me actual weapons that they would use. Like Quick Tick was a sickle or something. And like I've heard guns. Rob Sharkey was a gun.
What were you?
No, my weapon of choice would probably be a baseball bat or something like that. But that was when it was weapons. Now it's kind of morphed into people have talked about their charisma or their patience. That won't be yours. Or the ability to do math in their head really quick. That's also not yours.
Not me.
But what would be, what's like something that, if you were going into battle for a rancher or farmer, what's something that would be your weapon of choice? What's something you can lean on?
My Ben.
Ben's your weapon of choice?
He just, he's a really good buffer between me and people.
You and the world?
Yeah, so that I don't hurt people's feelings, you know. I don't have much of a filter, and Ben is so good with stuff like that.
Patient.
He is. I mean, God, what is he doing with me?
I don't know.
He's probably just trying to reduce my carbon footprint.
Every day.
Yeah, failing.
Yeah. So Ben's your weapon of choice. I love that. And the second question is what would, we'll pretend like you're 30. I know you're 31, but whatever. What would current day Elizabeth tell 21-year-old Elizabeth about what was going to happen? And what lesson would you say, hey, just so you know, this is something that's really important? Or what would you tell Hannah? Or what would you tell Coco in 10 years? Like, what's the lesson? What's the life lesson?
The most important thing is that if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. It's hard work. Well, if people talk about luck or whatever, I mean, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And really, it's such, people don't get to the point.
The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Did that make sense?
It totally makes sense. I've never heard that before.
Oh, did I just say my smart thing for the day?
For the week.
I mean, I'm out for the year, people. No, but I think that hard work is everything, and not quitting. And I mean it when I say that I have probably failed more times than people try.
Right.
Like I have, we've been in huge things that were just out of our control, and you just keep going. You figure it out because you have to, you know, and having a good partner. I mean, Ben is really my way better half, and he makes me better, and my kids and our customers and our people and our friends, and it's you have to love what you do, you know, and you have to love something, you should know it, and you should honor it and care and try to make it better, you know.
I love that. I think that's what we're going to title this podcast is the harder you work, the luckier you get. That's going to be the title.
My little tagline.
Yeah. I think
well, how much of this is going to be cut out? Should we
well,
change it to cut that out?
They're going to cut out so much of the things that you talked about. They're going to be like, no, we can't use that.
Yeah,
no.
that'll get us canceled.
They're probably not going to cut out any of it, right?
Great.
Even from the beginning. All of the things that you said early.
Yeah.
It's all in here.
Just nonsense.
I love that you came and did this with me.
Thank you for having me.
Now that you've done one podcast, you can do a whole bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, you ready?
Calm down.
All right, Ag Warriors, we are done. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Ag Warriors podcast brought to you by Thunderstruck Ag.